My guest in the studio is Harriet Bremner, and Harriet is an author, basically. Her third little booklet is out, and I've got it in my hot hand here, and I think I'm one of the first people to see this. Good morning, Harriet.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
This is Use Your Voice, and we'll talk about this in a moment, but in the meantime, your story quickly, Harriet, as to how you got into writing books, which are beautifully illustrated by your friend Dana Johnston. Unfortunately, you suffered a tragedy in your own life. Could you tell us briefly about that?
So just over 3 years ago, I lost my long-term partner in a farming accident, and I very quickly came to realise how short life really is, and I'd always had this dream that I'd kept quite quiet about wanting to write children's books, as I'm a primary school teacher as well. And so a few months later, I thought, oh well, I'll give it a go. And what a great story. A burly southern man and his miniature dachshund. It's not a sight that you see every day. So I wrote a draft over a cup of tea and shot down the valley to see Dana, who is a very good friend of mine and my illustrator, and she's incredible, and read the story to her out of my scrapbook and said, do you want to be my illustrator? And she jumped on board straight away. So Bob and Pops was born about 8 months later.
And what a great little book it is too, everybody. So you actually started a business called Girton Pops, and that is, responsible for the publishing of your books, I take it. You mention in the bio I have in front of me that through great sadness comes creativity. And has that been the case for you?
Yeah, so it seems that when I'm not having a very good day is the day that I can write, ironically. But yeah, so Bob and Pops was really quite a helpful thing in terms of my grief for me. So writing things down I find very helpful. So then I produced my second book, Be Safe, Be Seen, which is all about educating our young people to make good decisions when out on the farm, because currently there's a lot of talk about high-vis vests and paperwork being all that health and safety is about, but that shouldn't actually be the end-all and be-all. We need to be making practical decisions when out on the farm. There's
some big machinery out on the farms, and I think, a big part of your books is about safety around machinery.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I heard a 6-year-old child say a couple of years ago, oh, I've got my high-vis vest on so I can stand out on the road and I won't get run over. And I remember standing there at the time thinking this is completely backwards. We shouldn't just be shoving high-vis vests on people, and then them thinking that instantly they're bomb-proof. So in the second book, Poppy teaches Ted, my brother and sister-in-law's miniature Foxy, how to use his Think Safe brain. So as long as you're making good decisions, then your outcomes are going to be a lot better than if you just shove a high-vis vest on and drive around like an idiot.
Yep. There's lots of lessons in your books, Harriet, about, safety, farm safety, that sort of thing. But there's also lessons about, the raw truth about grief and resilience and that sort of thing as well. You've sort of got multiple messages, haven't you?
Yeah, it's all really important and really close to home for me, obviously. But I do believe that, farming is an industry where people work big, long hours, and they have certain times of the year where they're busier than others, and they are dealing with dangerous machinery. And so we need to also make sure that people's mental health is in check. If you're not eating well or sleeping well, exercising, those sorts of things, that can all impact the ability for you to make good decisions when you're out on the farm. So we need to really be looking out for one another in terms of that as well.
Well, these are beautiful books. They are, everybody. I can assure you, I've seen the first one. I haven't seen your second, but I've got your third in my hand now, called Use Your Voice. Tell us a bit about this one, Harriet.
So Use Your Voice comes straight from the heart again. I was back teaching last year, and I had actually found that I'd been running away from my grief for about 2.5 years when it sort of suddenly hit me that, I hadn't actually dealt with it. So again, I sat down and this idea came to me one day when I was sort of, struggling a little bit. And so I wrote Use Your Voice, and it's about Ali Perriam's Black Huntaway Jess, who's from The Will to Live, and Poppy. And it's about, it's a story about social inclusion, and it's a story about not discriminating against somebody that's struggling with their mental health, and also about the fact that you need to surround yourself with a really good tribe that are there to support you and genuinely will stand beside you through good times and hard times. And that, for our children, let's allow them to cry when they're feeling sad and teach them and educate them that they need to have somebody they can trust, that they can go to about anything, and that actually you don't always have a reason for feeling down.
And children, of course, respond to lessons from animals, don't they? And that's exactly what you're good at doing. For instance, here, obviously, Pops helps poor old the huntaway Jess to find his bark again, to get his mojo, right?
Yeah, absolutely, and all their farmyard friends as well. And we know that storytelling is one of the most powerful forms of learning for children and adults as well. Everybody loves a good story, and I'm hoping that through this we're going to target children, but also adults as well. So if mum or dad are reading this story in the evening with their children, it might be enough to encourage them to go out into the sitting room afterwards and say to their other half, actually, I'm not okay at the moment and I think I need to talk to someone and go and get some help. So we're really trying to target all ages as well.
This book has actually won an award, everybody, for won the Like Minds Like Mine 2019 Creative Grant. That is supported by the Mental Health Foundation. You are now on the speaking circuit too, aren't you?
Yes, I am, and Ali and I are actually speaking tonight in Rolleston.
Okay, tell us a bit about that. That's tonight, so if anybody listening, we've got listeners down in Rolleston, and not just here in North Canterbury. Where is it? When is it? And where can we get tickets?
So you can get tickets through the link on my Facebook page, Harriet Bremner, and there are also door sales tonight. So it starts at 7:30 at Rolleston School, and Ali and I are going to be sharing our stories and our journeys with you, and it's going to be a really informative session. There is going to be an auction as well, and all the proceeds tonight are going to Will to Live, so it's a really, really important evening that we'd love to see as many people at as possible.
Right, if anybody missed the detail there, get in touch with me at Compass FM. I'll be very happy to pass it on to you. Harriet, are you available to speak to groups here in North Canterbury? Can they get in touch with you, maybe schools, corporate events, that sort of thing?
Yes, so Poppy and I do go into schools and love sharing our books and messages with children, which is really great. They love meeting a real sausage dog, which is pretty exciting for them. And also putting two and two together that Poppy from the book is actually a real character, which is quite neat. So yeah, any groups we can target all the people, and yeah, we just need to spread the message far and wide.
Indeed. That's farm safety, and also, of course, grief and your experience of that and how you can help others to deal with grief. Harriet Bremner, everybody, and her latest book is out, and it's called Use Your Voice, Pops and Friends Help Jess the Huntaway Find Her Bark. Written by Harriet and beautifully illustrated, I mean that, by Dana Johnston. This is Compass FM.